This DVD will outline and identify the techniques used within my company's performance of our dance assessment, Evolvements. I will examine the relationship between our influences and our final piece. This first clip is of choreographer Richard Alston's performance of Rough Cut. As you can see in this clip, the choreography is of a contemporary genre. This is what we took influence from for our opening sequence. As you can see, the dancers are both in sync, and then they are breaking away into free movement of the same style, then reconnecting back into synchronization of their own movements. As you can see in this clip from the opening of our performance, we as a group wanted to keep the freedom by using improvisation of our movements. The routine consisted of 6 different motifs, and this could be performed in whatever order the individual chose. When pausing, we would stare at each other, and this would enable us to connect and sense the next motion of movement. This would link back into the synchronization of movements as a whole. As you can see in Alston's clip, we also use the space dynamics in the same way by allowing the space to be only empty for a short period of time. The work of Sobhana Jaising gave us the ideas of changing in pattern, pace and speed with footwork. This is represented throughout our performance. While it is not directly connected to Sobhana Jaising's work, it allowed us to develop our ideas further and create different cultural dynamics through our footwork. As I stated, our performance was heavily influenced by cultural dances and movements. One of these was our stick dance, which is representative of Indian tradition and religious Gujarati festival known as Navratri. One of the themes we were trying to create was to make traditional dance versus contemporary dance. We really wanted to represent this through our stick dance by showing it in silence and allowing the sticks to be the only soundscape allowed, which was taking away from the Indian tradition of very cheerful, loud music. This enabled us to make the stick dance a more dramatic and less festival, celebratory style in which it is traditionally associated with. For our fire representation, where we use contact improvisation, which we essentially took from a lecture on improvisation, using the ideas of being lava and mounting and using each other to move across, around and in the space. As you can see from the projected images, we were trying to break away from the traditional expected imagery of fire, and so we added in some elements of random footage to create an unexpected side to the choreography. This also challenged the meaning. We've got images of building, fruit, crowded people, glimpses of fire to ease in what we were trying to represent, but not giving it away and allowing that to be something the audience could question. For this section of the performance, we also took influence from 12 Moves After Dark by Dance Fest. The inspiration came from the idea of being a collective body of people and breaking out in a relay of movements, and this idea of creating an unpredictability in where to look for the next movement or what was coming next. 12 Moves also was a starting point in creating the ideas of use of shadow imagery. In our Japanese movement, we filmed ourselves performing a traditional dance, which was very controlled, slow, delicate, feminine, and was representative of a traditional Japanese dance. To break away from this and make it contemporary, we projected the traditional choreography and then performed the contemporary against it for direct contrast. This included movements such as jumps, bent feet, fast and jerky movements, and using our hands as a representation of a fan. Meredith Monk is a pioneer in the extended vocal technique. She uses soundscape to choreograph her work. We took this idea of using soundscape to add into the overall piece. Here is an example of Meredith Monk's work. Here are some examples of using the sound technique within our own piece. Like Motion House, we used projection to aid our themes. However, Scattered explored images that were relevant to their topic, where in comparison we approached this to break the convention. In Scattered, Motion House used the projections as a tool and a prop to dance with. This is what I feel would be the development of our piece and would further enhance the overall concept. Our final motif, which brings together the whole concept we developed, was that of the classic image of the evolution of mankind. The final positions are a freeze frame of us as statues that go from traditional dance positions into contemporary ones. This is supposed to represent the idea of an evolving world. Through nature, we represented the elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Humankind, which is represented through culture, and dance, which is represented through traditional to contemporary.